You ever been betrayed so badly that silence became your only weapon? My buddy found out his girlfriend was cheating while she was supposed to be 600 kilometers away visiting her family. But instead of yelling, crying, or begging, he planned something colder, something she would never forget. If you've ever been cheated on, or if you've ever wanted to see karma hit back hard, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this is one of the most perfectly executed revenge stories you'll hear today. Let's go back a few years. My friend, let's call him Tom, was living with his girlfriend Sarah. They'd been together for 3 years. At first, they were that picture-perfect couple everyone thought would get married. They cooked together, took road trips, and even adopted a cat. But then, life got harder. Bills piled up, work stress kicked in, and suddenly those long late-night talks turned into short, tired arguments. Still, Tom loved her. He believed that relationships had rough patches, and he was ready to fix it. But Sarah, she had other ideas. One night, she told him she was going to visit her family, 600 kilometers away, for a week. Tom didn't question it. He even helped her pack. She kissed him goodbye and left. But 2 days later, something strange happened. Tom was scrolling through social media when he noticed something familiar in a friend's photo. A restaurant patio just a few blocks from his apartment, and sitting there laughing, holding hands with her ex, was Sarah. For a moment, he froze. His heart pounded so hard he could feel it in his ears. He zoomed in. It was definitely her. The same hairstyle, the same jacket, even the necklace he'd bought her last Christmas. Tom didn't rage. He didn't call her. He didn't even text. He just sat there staring at the photo, realizing the truth. Then slowly a plan began to form. He grabbed his jacket and walked to the restaurant. He didn't go inside. He just stood at a distance, phone in hand, and took a few clear pictures. Her laughing face, her holding hands with her ex, her lying to his face. He went home, printed those photos, and slipped them into a folder. That night, he looked around the apartment, at the couch they bought together, the table he'd built, the cat sleeping peacefully, and he realized every single thing in that apartment was his. She hadn't paid a cent for the furniture. She wasn't even on the lease. That was when he decided she would never get the satisfaction of seeing him break. He checked his rental contract, month-to-month lease. Only his name, 60 days notice required. Perfect. The next morning, he went straight to his landlord, a kind older guy named Mark. Tom explained the whole situation. Mark listened quietly and nodded. Then with a small smile, he said, "Don't worry. I'll keep this between us over the next few weeks." Tom did exactly what you don't expect from a man who just found out his girlfriend was cheating. He acted calm. He talked about maybe trying therapy. He even smiled sometimes. Sarah thought he was clueless. She kept going out late, saying she was with friends. Tom just said, "Okay, have fun." Meanwhile, he was searching for a new place, somewhere peaceful, somewhere she'd never set foot in. When he found it, he quietly signed the lease and gave his landlord the 60 days notice. Mark agreed to show the apartment to new tenants only when Sarah wasn't around. The trap was set. The morning of moving day came. Sarah was in the kitchen, half asleep, scrolling through her phone. Tom was already up. He'd called a moving crew that morning, professional guys who arrived with boxes and tape. They began packing everything, the couch, the table, even the cat's toys. Sarah frowned. "What's going on? Why are they touching my stuff?" Tom turned around slowly, his voice calm, almost too calm. "Your stuff? You mean my stuff?" She blinked. "What are you talking about?" Tom didn't argue. He just walked over to the table, picked up the folder, and laid it open. There, in full color, were the photos. Her and her ex, laughing, holding hands. Her face turned white. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Then right on cue, the landlord stepped in. He looked at Sarah and said, "You have until midnight to take your belongings out. The new tenants move in 2 days, and I need to clean up." Sarah was speechless. She tried to protest, but the landlord just shook his head. "If you leave anything behind," he said, "it'll go to the curb." Tom didn't raise his voice once. He didn't insult her. He just kept packing, box by box, until the place was nearly empty. When everything was done, Tom looked around one last time. In the middle of the living room was a small pile, her clothes, her toiletries, her shoes, everything she'd brought into his life reduced to one messy pile. He took one last photo, her standing there, surrounded by her things, looking completely lost. Then without another word, he handed her the apartment key and walked out. No shouting, no tears, just silence. And that silence was louder than any revenge speech could ever be. By the time Sarah realized what had happened, Tom was already gone. New apartment, new life, new peace. She tried calling him. He didn't answer. She sent long, emotional texts. He never replied. And just like that, she had to live with the weight of her own choices. She thought she'd played him, but he'd already won. To this day, our friend group still calls it the coolest breakup ever. Not because he screamed or got revenge in a cruel way, but because he stayed calm, because he kept his dignity, because he walked away with power and peace. You see, sometimes revenge doesn't need fire. Sometimes it just needs silence. Because the best revenge is showing you're better without them. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the coldest revenge you've ever seen? And of course, subscribe for more real-life stories of justice, karma, and sweet, sweet payback.